Hello, hello.
Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to Sunday Night Satsang with myself, John Homewood.
And Michelle McLennan. Hi, everybody.
Good evening. Good evening. Yeah, we missed you last week.
Yeah,
We missed you
it
last
was
week.
all yours last week.
Yeah, it was. It was. And what was it about last week? Illusions. And tonight we're going to be looking at the shadow. What is the shadow? That's an interesting concept, the shadow.
Mm-hmm.
I heard of the Shadows. They were
Yeah, they were
quite
banned.
a popular band growing up.
Yeah.
That's not the shadow. We're not going to speak about the Shadows. No, they were very good. So welcome tonight. And if you can, let us know where you're watching from, who you are. We love getting your names. And any comments, any questions, any requests for any particular topic or subject which you'd like us to cover in these satsangs, that would be really good. And and if you do find what we have to share of any value, then please subscribe to our channel and press the like and the share button. And when you subscribe, please press the bell as well. That
On
means
YouTube.
you get our notifications on YouTube.
On YouTube, yeah.
That's right, yeah. So hello Merlene.
Merlene.
Hello Merlene. Merlene is
Now, let us know who's
Always
here,
here, yeah,
so we know who
thank
we're
you.
speaking to. Otherwise, we're just looking at ourselves.
yeah. We'd love to see you all. Well, those who come on our Zoom calls, not the Facebook Live, but the Zoom calls, and we do get to see your faces. So thank you for attending those as well. But good evening, and hopefully you've had a good weekend. Those who are watching from South Africa obviously are elated that we won the World Cup Rugby. For those of you who don't know, that's when 30 overgrown boys run around trying to catch this oval ball. My view is the ball can't cost that much. Why don't they buy them all one? They can all play with their balls. Anyway, that's just my weird
No,
view.
it's an amazing accomplishment.
It is. It is.
And
Well
they
done
did
to
well,
the box.
and well done, box.
Well done to the box. Yeah. I feel sorry for the New Zealanders.
No, I don't feel sorry for these.
No, I do. Shame, man.
No,
Wherever there's a winner, there's a loser.
I know. But
That's
I'm
not
happy
very
for
hard.
the box.
Okay, good. So hello Claire Cockett, hello to you.
I saw
Thank
Dennis
you.
there,
Yeah,
and
Dennis,
Sonia.
Hi. Yeah,
Beverly, hi,
Beverly,
Beverly.
hi Beverly Ann. Lovely. Yeah, so welcome. Thank you for the hearts. We love getting the hearts. That's good. Isn't life all about love? So we love getting the love from you, the hearts. Hello Paula. Hello. Yeah, it was an amazing vibe here in Portugal at
Must
the
have
pubs.
been.
Must have been. Hello, Birgit. Yeah, we're going to see you in a
Birgit.
few days' time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely. Yes, so let's start this evening by centering ourselves. I know we've had maybe a beautiful weekend, especially with the box winning the rugby, so we're all in a good mood, but it's still, even with the ups and downs of life, with the ups of life, it's good to withdraw our mind for a little time and just become centered in the present moment. Hello, Diane. And just focus on the isness of just this moment. You know, we have an external environment which sometimes may be challenging, and we have an internal environment. And this is a moment to come into the internal environment and just connect with the isness of this moment that connects with the sacred space in our hearts, which
And
is presence.
It's a nice way to start the week as well.
It
To
is.
end off the weekend
Yeah.
and
It is.
have a little comma before we start the week.
It is, yeah. So you can think of the satsang as a comma, a pause.
A little pause.
A pause. Yes. So let's just gently close our eyes for a moment. Hello, Ryan.
All right.
And just close our eyes. And just become aware of the physical sensations that are arising in this unique moment in time and space, that are being perceived directly, not indirectly through memory or anticipation, but directly in this moment through your five senses. So let's just become aware of the chair or bed or floor that we're sitting or lying on. Directly, right here, right now, feel that sensation coming into you. And notice that as you become aware of those sensations coming into your body from the chair or floor or bed, wherever you're seated, that in order to directly perceive that, you have to withdraw your mind from all other times and all other places and become centered in the now. It's only through the now that you perceive reality directly. Otherwise, we're always perceiving it through the filtered reality of memory, of thoughts, of the mind. But as we center ourselves in the here and now and connect directly with sensations, we become present, we become aware directly. Become aware of everything that you can hear right now. And notice that you are the awareness that's noticing. Become aware of where your hands are touching right now. And let's for a moment become grateful for that which we are experiencing in this moment. Be grateful for the chair that we're sitting on. Be grateful for our hands and the wonderful dexterity it gives us in the world. Thank you for each finger and the thumbs. Thank you for the sensation of touch. It's wonderful to be grateful. As we become grateful for what is, life tends to give us more of that which we can be grateful for. Being grateful for the body is such an important aspect of healing, no matter what ails the body. When we are grateful for the body exactly as it is in this moment, we energize it with our attention, which is life. And we add life into the body directly. What generally causes dis-ease is too much time and not enough presence. Too much attention on the thoughts, and the thoughts of past and the thoughts of future, and not enough presence, which is life. So let's just take a moment to flood the body with life. And one of the most important aspects of life is this beautiful breath that we have. So let's start this evening by taking a very deep breath in. Deep, right into the base of your lungs, blowing your tummy up like a big ball, and then a beautiful long, very long, relaxing breath out. And as you breathe out, just relax your shoulders. Take a second very deep breath in, not raising your shoulders, but pulling your tummy out, pushing your tummy out, so you're drawing the air right the way down. And as you breathe out now, just relax your neck muscles, your forehead, the top of your head, your arms. Just let it all go. Any stress, tension, let it go. Take another very deep breath in. Imagine the air going right down to your toes this time, so you're really pulling the air all the way in. More. And then release it with a very long out breath, just surrendering everything back to life. And now let's hand over the breath to the intelligence called life. Let's not try to control the breath anymore in any way, but allow life to breathe us, but keeping our attention on this beautiful rhythm and flow of the breath. Just noticing it. Become aware of the tip of your nose and the gentle flow of air in and out of the nostrils. And notice who is noticing. It's not your name, it's not your gender, it's not your race, it's not your education or your achievements or your failures. It's awareness, just pure, pristine, empty awareness. And bring this awareness to the center of your chest, to your heart. And in this moment, let us fully accept this present moment for exactly what it is. And as we accept this present moment fully, you may feel an expandedness in your heart, an opening in your heart. And as we open our heart like you would open a tap, something flows through the heart. And that is light, it's love. So as we accept this moment fully, and we have an air of appreciation for this moment exactly as it is, as we allow life to be as it is in this moment, we open our hearts and we become an instrument for healing. For as the love and the life flows more fully through us with less resistance, the body heals, the mind heals, the soul heals, as we allow life to flow through us, unimpeded by the mind. And as life flows through us, it flows out into the world, and we become that instrument of healing in the world as well. We become the change we want to see in the world. For in order for the heart to open, we have to be at peace and to be present. And through this portal of peace and presence, we become an instrument of peace and presence in the world. This is our main purpose. While for the mind, purpose is always about future. But in truth, our real purpose, our real life purpose, is to align with life. And life is only ever now. And the consequence of aligning with life is peace. Stress comes from resisting life, saying no to life, projecting our mind away from presence. That's experienced as stress. But as we become present and as we allow life and appreciate this moment, there is a dissipation of stress, a transcendence of the world of form, as we become more aligned with the formless essence of being. Take another very deep breath in. A long breath out. And just honor this peace and this stillness within you for a moment, knowing that in this place of stillness, this place of nothingness, of emptiness, we become one with all of life. We connect directly through our hearts with all those who are gathered in this satsang tonight, and from this place of connection we feed the field of oneness with our awareness. Gently take another very deep breath in and a long breath out. And when you're ready, you may gently open your eyes. And just see how you feel in this moment. Just become conscious of your internal world right now. And while the external world may not be necessarily your direct responsibility, your internal world is always your responsibility. It's beautiful to feel peaceful, isn't it? Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Thank you to all those who joined when my eyes were closed there.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for that.
You, yeah.
The opening, it was lovely.
Yeah.
Welcome, everybody.
So before we start, is there anything that the stars can tell us?
We just had a big eclipse last night, so maybe help the Bucks win the match.
Yeah, probably did. Probably did.
But eclipses are always powerful moments, and they're powerful release points. So we're still in that releasing phase because now the moon wanes towards the new moon in 2 weeks' time, and the focus is very much on transformation, which is our theme for the inner space month this month. Deep transformation is our theme, simply because that's what the energies are guiding us to do. And if you break it down a little bit more, there's a very big emphasis on Scorpio and the planet Pluto, which is the ruler of Scorpio. And those two energies, if you like, are very concerned with shadow work, with the pain body, with that part of us that might be unconscious and gets reactive or gets triggered. And so we just thought we haven't really spoken about this much on Inner Space. We do a lot of it on our Journey to Freedom, but this is a chance to just look at it a little bit more deeply on Inner Space. The shadow.
The shadow.
A lot of people shy away from the shadow or say they don't have one, but we do. If we're on earth, in an earthly form, we have a shadow. Absolutely. Just as everything else has a shadow, if you shine light on it. So tonight we just want to talk about shining the light on the shadow and what it is. Yeah, so we've really got, planetary help or cosmic help or energetic help to actually unearth things at the moment, to really look at ourselves honestly. Because when we do shadow work, when we see our own shadow, we blame other people less, because we are actually faced with our own shadow instead of projecting it onto someone else.
Yeah, we're owning our own pain. Instead of outsourcing our pain, we start to own our own pain. That's the beauty of doing the so-called shadow work. And where in previous times, previous energy flows, it might have been very difficult to do this transformation work, this deep transformation work. But with the energies we're at now, I believe it is very, very easy and simple to do what might have had to take you decades of work or lifetimes of work before, can be done very, very quickly now. So we can shed all that no longer serves us very, very quickly right now if we're prepared to commit ourselves to doing this transformation work. It's important. The power of commitment, the power of focus, the power of intention is really important in these times of transformation that we're going through, this so-called apocalyptic time. And the word apocalypse means, quite simply, for the veil to come down, for that which is hidden to be revealed. And you may find in your own lives that much that you thought you had dealt with is coming back to the surface. It's not that it's being recreated, it's just that the veil of ignorance is coming down, and you are seeing that which is sitting underneath the surface. So this is a wonderful time right now to do the shadow work or the deep transformation work. And it doesn't have to take long, not at all.
And also not to see it as wrong if the shadow is being exposed, if those old fears or old triggers or old hurts or old resentments, whatever it is that's underneath the surface, if any of those things are surfacing, to actually acknowledge that this is part of the journey, the evolutionary journey, and that they have to surface for us to actually move into who we really are, because we are not shadowed, but the ego tells us that we are. So it's for us to see that, and because then we can actually deal with it, and we can process and move through it. So there's a beautiful quote that we found from Eckhart Tolle, which really explains it beautifully, and we can talk around this. The pain body, which is the dark shadow cast by the ego, is actually afraid of the light of your consciousness. It's afraid of being found out. Its survival depends on your unconscious identification with it, as well as on your unconscious fear of facing the pain that lives in you. But if you don't face it, if you don't bring the light of your consciousness into the pain, you will be forced to relive it again and again. And these cycles that I often speak about astrologically or energetically we're cyclical. So they'll come back, that pain will come back over and over unless we actually see it. And when we're projecting it onto other people, we're not seeing it and we're not feeling it. And in order to really see it and to bring it into the light of our consciousness, we have to be very present and very brave, because the ego does not want you to do that. The ego wants us to stay where we're at. The ego doesn't want you to break through into the light, because then it dies.
Oh, it ceases to have its hold over you.
It has no power over us. So it's the work that we're all doing on earth. It's not defined by a few people. All of us are working with pain body on some level, or shadow, because that's what we've come to do. We've come to evolve our consciousness.
Yeah.
So don't be ashamed, or don't be scared of it. Be prepared to look at it in the eyes and say, "Oh my goodness, here it is. It's here. The fear, the pain, the resentment, the anger, the jealousy, whatever it is, it's right here. Okay, now how can I actually move through this in a different way? Because I'm maturing and I'm evolving as a soul, and I have the tools now to actually do this, to work with it."
Yeah, what Eckhart was saying there in that quote was saying that the shadow is that which is cast by the ego, and the ego is blocking the light, and the result of that blockage to the light is this thing called the shadow, which Eckhart calls the pain body. So the pain body is a result of the solidity of the ego. The more solid the ego, the bigger the pain body will be. The more solid we make this self, this personality self, the little self. The word ego, according to Wayne Dyer, is edging God out. So that part of us that isn't the divine, the more solid we make that, the bigger the shadow becomes. And how do we dissolve the shadow? Well, we don't try and understand the shadow. We don't try and work with the shadow. We don't analyze the shadow. We look at what the cause of the shadow is, and the cause is ego. As you dissolve the ego, the shadow dissipates all on itself. And I know there are many therapies and many courses which people go on where they really study the shadow. They look at the shadow, but they're looking at the illusion. That which is causing the illusion needs to be looked at. That which is causing the illusion needs the light of awareness shone on it. And when you shine the light of awareness on the ego, it becomes opaque. It dissipates, and the light shines through it as truth. And then the shadow dissipates all by itself. No need to understand it, work on it, push it away, resist it, resent it, turn your back on it. No, not at all. It ceases to exist, because darkness cannot exist in the presence of light. And the light is the light of your awareness. So the work that we do is to shine the light on those aspects which are making the shadow self, the pain body, real.
That's right. And the more we think about it, the more we analyze it very often, we're feeding into the pain body. So the pain body can be seen almost like an entity that kind of takes over at times. So you might be sailing along thinking that everything's wonderful and that you've cracked it and you're close to enlightenment, and then somebody visits, or something happens, or there's a phone call, or there's a family issue.
Yeah, you go to dinner with the family. Oh, you go to dinner with the family.
I think it was Ram Dass said, if you think you're enlightened, go and spend a weekend with your family.
Yeah.
And he was pretty close to enlightenment. But, that's those people that we've incarnated with as family, or partners, spouses, children, those people know how to push buttons. They know how to trigger. And so you might think that everything's wonderful, and then suddenly you're in the grip of that feeling, that sensation that grips you. And if you are unaware of it, and if you're unconscious in that moment, which we usually are, if we get really gripped by the pain body, we completely get taken over by it. So when somebody is having a pain body attack, you could call it a shadow attack, there's very little chance that you can actually speak to the person and be heard, because the person's got the consciousness is gone in that moment. There's unconscious, you're speaking to the unconscious part of the person in front of you. So if you've ever tried to have an argument with someone who's in a pain body response, you'll know that it's almost impossible. There's got to be a separation, or you've both got to see it, and that's very difficult if you're right in the middle of it.
Yeah, because what happens when you go into the pain body or into that shadow self is there's no consciousness there, as Michelle said. There are repeating patterns from the past. There's repeating tapes playing on auto repeat in the mind. There's no consciousness. Consciousness comes from the prefrontal lobe of the brain, or is funneled through that. It's the old part of the brain that plays out in unconscious behavior in the pain body attack, so-called. And I see Beverly says there, I feel like I've gone back in time. And that, think about that statement, I've gone back in time. I'm going to say you've gone back into time, because the shadow self only exists in time. The pain body only exists in time. It relies upon past and future for its very existence. If you remove time from the ego ceases to exist. If you remove time, the pain body disappears.
And you remove, because then you remove memory.
Yeah.
Who was that woman, Jill Bolt Taylor, who had the stroke? And what she called it, a stroke of insight.
A stroke of insight.
She wrote a book on it, and she had a stroke. And I remember her saying in the book that while she was recovering from the stroke, because she completely lost her memory, and she was a doctor, she was a neurosurgeon or something.
She was a neuroanatomist.
Yeah. So she lost her memory. She lost her ability to do that work for a long time, because she didn't have any memory. And she said the interesting thing was when her mother came to visit, there were no issues. There were no hooks. There were no triggers, because there was no time. There was no memory. So Beverly was clean. There were no hooks. So her mother, who had obviously a mother-daughter relationship, couldn't hook her, because there were no hooks. Because I see astrology, I see the pain body as it's like a hook. So you've got a hook in you that's connected to something or somebody else, and all that has to happen is it goes bling, and that hook gets caught, and the next thing you're in. And usually it's a feeling that you feel. It's a sensation in your body. So you might drive out of your driveway and somebody might cut you off in the traffic, and suddenly there's that reaction. And maybe it's based on fear, maybe it's based on some time before where you had an accident, or it doesn't really matter where. But you know that there's this sensation that kind of takes over. And if you aren't aware of it, it will take over completely. And then the consciousness, is not able to be conscious anymore of it. And so it's hard to actually, I believe that the more present that we become, the less we get into the grip of the pain body. It's only presence that actually stops you from going down. It's almost like a roller coaster. That there's a tiny little gap between the time that you get triggered and the time that you go sending it down the roller coaster. And that's, if you're in presence, you can actually see it at the point that you're about to go in. Don't know if you'd agree with that.
Awareness is the greatest agent for change. It's not what you know that's a problem, it's what you don't know that you don't know. It's a complete ignorance. That is what creates the repeating cycles and repeating patterns in our lives. The pain body is an accumulation of unconsciousness, which we've gathered over many, many, many experiences, maybe many lifetimes, who knows. But the pain body is an accumulation of past emotions that we haven't fully released. We're still holding on to them at a subconscious level generally, and we take them with us. And then when something triggers us, we go back into those old patterns. And those old patterns didn't serve us at the time. They're definitely not going to serve us now. And I believe the awakening process is to bring, as Michelle said, more and more awareness into each and every interaction we have, so that we don't react, we respond. And the only way you can respond is if you're present, because then you get to choose how you're going to act. The pain body doesn't act out of choice, it acts out of old patterns, repeating cycles. And that creates a lot of conflict in the world. If you think of the Middle East conflict, there's all old patterns, old scars repeating themselves over and over and over again. And people think that they can sort it out the same way they failed to sort it out last time. I think who was it? No, not Albert Einstein. Someone said the definition of madness is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. There is no different result if you're repeating past patterns. And so the conflict that's going on in the Middle East is just repeating past patterns. That's all it is. And there is no healing in that. Only when there's a degree of presence, only when you step back into this present moment and clear your mind. Because as you clear your mind, you clear those past patterns. And you start to make presence more important than time. Presence more important than history. Presence more important than future. That's where the healing happens. And that's where you start to dissolve the pain body and the shadow self. Because your ego dissolves in the light of presence.
And the thing is, with something like the war in the Middle East, or any war, is that there's a collective pain body.
Yeah.
So it's not just an individual pain body at work here. It's it's collective, and it's been going on for generations. So there's almost like it's like an energy force, a pain body. So the energy force, there's one, and then there's two, and then there's a few million pain bodies, all connected with that one thing, and then you've got two different sides or three different sides, whatever it is, and you've got different pain body collectives working as well. So they say that there's a collective, female pain body, there's a collective male pain body as well. So we've got our individual ones and collectively as well. So it takes that's why I think this is called the hero's journey, because you've got to be brave to actually face your pain body, because what you're doing there is you're taking full responsibility, and you're not blaming anybody else. When you are able to look at your own darkness, you're able to then move into the light. If you can't look at your darkness, you can't move in. And so it's something that we often avoid, because I don't want to go there, it's icky, and or I don't have a pain body, I've heard people say. No, you have got one. It's somewhere. You just have to look at a reaction to somebody in the traffic. For some people, it'll be different triggers for different people.
Every body has a pain body
or shadow.
And what is a body but a solid object? Every solid object casts a shadow. Only that which doesn't have a body does not cast a shadow. So the ego is a body. It's a body of collective energy, and it casts a shadow. So in the model that I have, you have time and you have presence. And everything that's in time is solid, has a certain sense of solidity, has a certain beginning, a middle, and an end, has an existence. When you go into the vertical plane, which is presence, then you start to interact with that dimension of nobody. There's nobody there. There's nobody to defend. There's nobody that can be injured. If someone says something to you and you're in the no-body state, it just passes through you. It doesn't stick. And so this journey to freedom, the journey to freedom from the pain body, from the shadow self, is a journey into this horizontal plane where there is no personality. There is no, into the vertical, there is no personality. There is no ego there to be defended. There's nobody there to be hurt. Nobody. Because no body has no shadow, no pain body. So that's something to illustrate the importance of presence, because the vertical plane is presence, and that's the only place that we can truly dissipate the darkness that's cast by the solidity of that which was created in time.
Yeah, Carl Jung said he did a lot of work on shadow and wrote about the shadow a lot. And he said one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. And that's what's happening on our planet right now. That's the apocalypse. That's the lifting of the veil. We are being exposed to the darkness, and it's necessary. It's not pretty, but it's necessary for us to actually evolve as a species. And if we don't do that, we won't evolve more, because we can't. Because we're going around the same cycle that's been going around for thousands of years. And this is our chance to actually break through that cycle. But we also don't do it by blaming. So I just had a thought that you don't walk around, look at your shadow and say, "Oh, this damn shadow, I hate this shadow.
Why is it following me?
Why is it following me around? Never leaves me alone, and I hate it." Well, you don't do that, but we do that with our shadows. So they're not ours. We mustn't own them, but we've got to see them. So it's not to blame yourself if you have a shadow. As John said, you're a body. You'll have a shadow. It's to bring it into the light of consciousness and awareness and love, which means I accept myself exactly as I am. I accept this shadow part of me as well as the light part of me. So I've got this other part, the shady, shadowy side, but that's okay. It's part of the human experience. And how can I bring more love and more acceptance to all parts of me? And then as soon as we bring light and love into it, it dissolves. That's the amazing thing about the pain body. As soon as we bring shame and guilt and anger into it, it gets bigger. So it's just to accept it. This is my pain body. Here it is. I'm having a trigger. Can I step into presence, and can I love myself even more right now? Can I look in the mirror while I'm having a pain body trigger and actually still say, "I love you"? Because we can look in the mirror when we feel good about ourselves. So it's moving through it with love. It's not resisting it, because as you resist it, you're pushing it away and you're pushing it back underneath into the unconscious, where it's actually then just growing in momentum and just waiting for a trigger to come out.
Yeah, and if you consider that it's the pain body itself is an identification with a field of energy, with a field of thought energy. It's an identification with a body. And that body may be your physical body, but more often than not, it's a psychological body, it's a mental body, it's a mental idea of who I am. And the mental idea of who we are is vulnerable because it's not real. And as such, it requires constant repair mechanisms. It needs protection. It needs boundaries. And a lot of the pain body, the shadow self that comes out of us, is in order to repair the ego that's being damaged, in order to protect the personality, that part of us that we think is real. And the way through this, the real way to heal the pain body or to heal the shadow self, is to see that which is real as against that which is a construct of the mind. So the real essence of life is being. You are a human being. And it's the human that has the pain body, as Michelle was saying. It's the human part of us that has the pain body, the shadow self. But the being does not. And so the quick and the shortest route to healing the pain body is to know yourself as being, to know yourself as the vertical plane of presence. As you know yourself to be presence itself, which is unconditioned consciousness, as you know yourself to be that, there isn't any shadow. There's no body to cast a shadow in that moment. So the light, the work that we're doing here is to help you step into the true awareness of what you are, which is the light. And the light has no shadow. Only the object which comes in front of the light creates the object, creates the shadow. So the real work is as we start in the Journey to Freedom course, is know thyself. who are you really? If you think you are an object in time and space, if you think yourself as a body, as something solid that needs protection, you will block the light. And that blocking the light creates a shadow. But as you start to shift your awareness away from thingness to beingness, so there isn't anything left. There's nothing solid to block the light anymore. And the light shines, and the darkness is dissipated, completely gone in that moment. So this is really a journey into knowing who you are at the deepest level, not as a superficial level. We can do, a personality improvement program and improve our personality, and we can make it shinier, and we think it's not casting such a bad shadow anymore, but it's still casting a shadow because we've still created a solidity around who I think I am. But as you know yourself to be being, as you know yourself to be awareness, as you know yourself to be unconditioned awareness, unconditioned consciousness, there's no shadow in that moment of timelessness. There's no shadow. Shadow only gets created by time, and time and mind are one and the same. So this process is to dissolve the misidentification that I am my mind, I am my thoughts, I am my history, I am my future, to know I am presence in this moment. It takes one conscious breath, as we started this evening with our meditation. One breath taken with full awareness dissolves the shadow, dissolves the misperception of self, and we step more and more into the no-thingness of being. And that is the true journey which we're on now, which is the journey of awakening.
And the process that we're in, the transformational process, it's basically the dissolving of that which we're not. So it's the dissolving of the ego, the form of the ego, the form self, that I am what I am, what I've done, and all of that, and I am this body. It's the consciousness of the dissolving of that to actually be who you truly are. That's the process of transformation. So when we say we're transforming, we're letting go of that which we're not. But that can be scary because we're attached to that which we think we are. We're attached to those stories, we're attached to those hurts, we're attached to those dramas. And there's part of us often that doesn't want to let them go because it's part of who we are. This story that I've got, this pain that I've been through, this drama that I'm going through. It gives us a sense of identification. Yes. And so it's actually stepping away from that, which is the transformation. And that's why it can feel, I don't know who I am anymore. Who would I be without my story? Who would I be without my pain? I'd be free. Yeah. Oh, I can't possibly. Because I'm so attached to it. It's one and the same. It's me and my pain body are linked. I am the pain body. And it's the awareness, the transformation is the awareness that you're not the pain body. You're not the ego, you're not the mind, and you're not the pain body. And as soon as you can see that you're not the pain body, you can see it. Because you are stepping out, you're looking in on it. You're not it. When you're in it, you're in it. You're fully identified with the pain body in that moment, and you have lost consciousness. So that's the process, and it is a process of unfolding, because each time we're able to actually step into presence, into the vertical plane, if you want to call it that, into the beingness, and not do the projection or not do the reaction. Each time we're able to do that, or to be that, we are reprogramming. So it's like an energy cycle that gets put in place, and it's this triggered energy, let's just say it's a circle of events and circumstances that have all led together to form this pain body entity, if you like. And one by one, every single time you bring yourself back, you're creating a whole new energy flow that is aligned with who you really are, as opposed to the part of you that is not who you really are, because you're not the pain body.
Yeah, what you said there was identify.
Yeah.
Everything we identify with is a body. It's a somethingness. So every identification which we have creates a shadow. Every identification. So a national identity will create a shadow. An identity, for example, of I am a Springbok rugby supporter, for example, creates a shadow in that moment. I am a good person creates a shadow. I am a male, female, whatever, creates a shadow, because there's an a-ness. I am a something. That word a is a solid. It's a connection with something that's solid. And as a result of that identification with something that is a somethingness, there is a shadow being created. There's a vulnerability being created in that moment, and that vulnerability creates a shadow self. So the way through this is to dissolve the sense, the misperception, the misidentification with form, and to know yourself as the formless essence of awareness that's witnessing the world that you're experiencing in this moment. And that is the only true path to healing the pain body and healing the shadow.
Because I mean, the shadow and the pain body is really the base cause of it would be separation. There's a feeling of you being separate, an entity, an individual, an identification.
Yeah.
But there's a separation away from unity. So there's a duality.
Yeah.
And as soon as we step into duality, we've actually stepped into, often into pain and suffering.
Yeah.
Because we're comparing ourselves with you and there's me. And then you said this and I said that, and you're right and I'm wrong. And that's the first step into the pain body. So coming back into who you really are, the oneness, there is no pain body. Because there is no identification with anything else.
So the journey really is stepping back into the light of awareness. The light has no shadow. Remember that. Only solidity has shadow. So our work here is to step back into the I am presence, which is your true essence, awareness. And if you want any help with that, then do join our Inner Space online community for this month. And it's on available on our website, journeysofawakening.com. That's journeys plural, because there are many journeys of awakening.com. So would you like to lead us
I will
into presence?
Do. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. And then we'll have an affirmation card. Where's the affirmation card?
Yeah, I need to now first.
Yeah. Okay. We have an affirmation card. An affirmation is a very it's quite a good way of clearing the solidity of the ego. Dissolving the ego is what affirmations are. To show the camera the cards. We got all of these cards. So I'm going to choose. All right. I'm choosing a yellow one.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, that's lovely. That's what I chose, and Michelle will reveal to us what's written on that card, and it's a tool for our cleansing of the mind.
Okay. All right, so let's just all settle in. Just for a short meditation to end the evening. So just sitting quietly, relaxing your body, getting really comfortable. Taking a deep breath in and a long, slow releasing breath out. Just releasing everything that you don't need in this moment. And another deep, beautiful, full breath in. And another long, slow, deep breath out. And just feel your body start to relax. Drop your shoulders. Put your shoulders back just a little bit so that your heart is open. Unclench your jaw. Relax your hands in your lap or wherever you are. And let your palms face upwards while you're doing this meditation. And just allow yourself to sink into this moment. Right now. Right here. Connecting with the sound of your own breath as it enters and exits. you can really connect with the quality of your breath. This gift of life that we often take for granted. At the end of each in-breath, there is naturally an out-breath. And at the end of each out-breath, we naturally take another in-breath. So just surrendering to this beautiful breath that keeps us alive. Connecting with the sounds that you can hear in the room. And then extending your hearing a little bit further to see if you can hear anything outside the room. And bring the hearing back into the room again. And just listen to the sound of your own breathing. And now connecting with your body. Just do a body scan and see how your body is. So just from the head all the way down, identifying any areas of tension or tightness or resistance. Going from the head into your face, into your jaw, your scalp, your neck, your shoulders. And if you identify an area of any kind of tightness, just breathing into that area and then releasing it on the out-breath. And notice how as you become aware of it, your conscious awareness is aware of that tightness. You send the gentle light of your awareness and your breath into that area and then consciously release and soften and let it go. Moving all the way down your body into your torso, your back, your pelvic area, your legs, your knees, into the ground, into the feet. Just releasing anything you don't need into Mother Earth, letting it all go. Connecting now with any situation that you have in your life that you might be dealing with. That may be a trigger for you, that may be challenging for you. And under the light of this waning moon in Scorpio, set an intention of bringing this into the light of your consciousness so that you can release it. You can let it dissolve. It doesn't have to rule the show. Your presence, your consciousness is much more powerful. So bringing that into awareness and releasing it just the same as you did with the tension in the body. Just in this moment, your attention goes onto that and then you release it. It might be fear, it might be hurt, it might be anger. Whatever it is, give it up. Just let it go for now. And keep softening your body, keep bringing your attention back to your breath. Feel into the peace beneath the story, beneath any drama outside or inside. The peace that exists beneath all the noise, which is always here. And just open your ears to hear this week's affirmation, which is very apt for tonight. I surrender to life right now in this present moment. And allow your body to surrender to life right now in this present moment. Allow your mind to surrender in this moment. Give yourself the chance to liberate yourself in this moment by surrendering. By just letting it go. As you would let go of a hot burning coal if it was placed in your hand. Let it go. Let it be. I surrender to life right now in this present moment. And now bring a beautiful mother of pearl light in through the top of your head. A beautiful, liquid, nurturing mother of pearl light. Let it flow in through the top of your head. Swirl around your head and your face, relaxing those little muscles. Relaxing your neck. Let it flow down through your shoulders, into your torso, down through your arms, into your hands, all the way down your spine, down into your pelvic area, buttocks, legs, feet. Just allow this light to clear anything that you might be holding on to that you can let go of. Anything that's no longer serving you. This light of your awareness, this gentle, beautiful healing light, clearing away anything that's no longer needed. A deep, long breath out, breathing a long breath out. And a breath in. And a long out breath, blowing the air out through your mouth. I surrender to life right now in this present moment. And when you're ready, you can gently start to bring yourself back into the room if you left. Excuse me, I've got a cough. And open your eyes when you're ready. Maybe I was letting go of something there.
I think so.
Yeah. Sure.
That was lovely. And I surrender to life right now in this moment. And what are we surrendering? But we are surrendering our identity to a form. I'm giving up form and I'm surrendering into the formless. And that's the dissolving of the shadow. Thank you for being with us tonight. We love you all. I'll put a picture of that affirmation up on the Facebook page, and let that be your guide to clearing the mind of its connection or identification with form this week ahead, and we look forward to catching up with you next week.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, and thank you for your hearts. Thank you for all your hearts.
Have a good week.
Yeah. Lots of love.